Today, we make our final push into the Upper Peninsula. One of our main reasons to come to the Upper Peninsula was to escape the oppressive heat in Ocala. It's been in the 90s since about April, and so this was a good break from that oppressive heat. We are interested in doing some wild camping at a later date, so we decided we'd stop by a Besser natural area to check out some campsites. We noticed there were a lot of trees overhanging the dirt road. So, with our new rig and not wanting to get it scratched up, we chickened out and got out of there.
Her mum was Indian, her father Jamaican American. That she will attract black voters to the Democrats that may have been diselected in recent years.
How can I help?
Navigate to Brimley State Park.
A little further down the road, just south of Rogers, Michigan, we found a little pullout that faced Lake Huron. One of the benefits of having a small rig is when you see one of these things, you can just pull right over to the side of the road. All right, this is our first real good look at Lake Huron. The great lake that looks like an ocean.
Sure does. Can't see anything. Can't see any land on the other side.
It's not really cold. It's feels like it's about 70, but it's a little bit of breeze.
A little bit of a breeze, and there's no sun.
And no sun. I think we might be heading into rain.
Yeah.
So this is right off of Highway 23, just outside of Rogers City. All right, look how dirty the rig is. Jesus. A few more miles up the road, we made an unplanned but very good stop at the Mile Point Lighthouse. We are at the Mile Point Lighthouse. In the calcite pallet house, we met with Bill, the volunteer lighthouse keeper.
All right, you ready for my spiel?
All right, go.
We're ready for your spiel, yes.
First of all, where are you guys from?
Florida, Ocala, Florida.
Okay.
Yep.
You guys come a long way.
Yeah, we're trying to escape the 95-degree heat for a few weeks.
Yeah, and 98% humidity. Yes.
So welcome to the pilot house of the calcite. Okay, so the calcite, this is a model of the calcite.
Okay.
Built in 1912. All right, so this pilot house is over 112 years old. Okay, built in 1912 as one of the first self-unloaders on the Great Lake, and I'll explain that in a second.
Okay.
When they scrapped it in 1961, they scrapped it because it was too small. So this is the Bradley fleet that was actually stationed here in Rogers City. Okay, and he was this little guy here at only 432 feet long. So the bigger brothers, whatever, kept going, you know. So he couldn't haul as much. He could hold 7,000 tons of equipment. Some of the newest ones, including some of the 1,000-footers, would be 70,000 tons.
Oh.
So, a self-unloader, it was one of the first self-unloaders, and a lot of them are self-unloaders now. It depends upon what the product they're carrying. But in the old days, there used to be the cargo hatch here. When you would unload a cargo, they'd open the hatch and they'd dig it out with like a big old steam shovel or something like that, pull it out, or guys shoveling it out. You know what I mean? These started, and these became self-unloaders by putting conveyors at the very bottom of the boat.
Oh, okay.
So what they do is they can open a cargo hatch, it goes down the conveyor, this boom will swing out to either over railroad cars or as a pile right on the shore, and they can then swing it and open individual ones of these and empty it.
Okay.
When it was scrapped in 1961, they kept the pilot house. And
Oh, okay. That's where we're
That's
now.
the pilot house. Of the Cal site.
Okay.
Okay. So that little tiny thing right there.
All right.
All right. Of course, it's a little different. There's some of the things that might have been here in 1912, like these things that I run into all the time. Okay. Of course, this radar, someone donated it. Telephone, even the ship to shore and everything like this, didn't exist in 1912.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So we'll take a couple of different things on this. One of the things about steering this from 1912, okay, was there was actually physical rods that connected you from the very front of the boat where the pilot house was, all the way back to the rudder in the back. You could actually feel the waves actually hit the boat. Unlike U-boats now, they're joystick
electronic,
controlled.
yeah.
It's like a Game Boy or something like this. You know what I mean? You can actually feel the waves hitting, including going to ice in the winter if you're hitting into November itself. We'll come over here. This is an interactive.
Oh, it's an interactive thing. Okay.
So what you're going to do is you're going to grab this and you're going to go put this down into slow or forward or something like that.
Keep going.
Keep going. So that same signal was signaled all the way back to the engineering way back here in the back of the boat. This is where the engine room is. All right? Because there wasn't telephones, there wasn't anything like that to communicate back and forth. So they would use the rings that would send back. None of you guys are sailors, right?
No.
No, we're not.
You're a sailor?
No.
Oh, cool. So if I
okay.
lie to you, you guys don't.
No, we don't know the
We
difference.
didn't know.
You'll look it up later and go, oh, he lied to me. But guess what? You looked it up. Right straight up and down. The guy would again get off his bench, kind of go over there. What's she want now? Okay, let's sit. Okay, she wants stop. So they put it into stop. Okay, and then this boat would float for a long time because it's not going to stop. You know,
Yeah.
right away.
Right.
So it's a lot different technology back there. It's not instantaneous stop and turn or anything like this. You know. They did have a backup on this. They had a boat whistle. Since you're right here, we're gonna let you pull this handle here. Pull the handle. Pull that handle.
This is an interactive thing.
This is interactive. There you go. So that could have right behind you. There's some signal code, and it could be a different number of whistles means different things out in the back.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, there was reply back. There was a way to communicate back as a backup.
If you ever have a chance, I suggest you stop by here. Bill was very knowledgeable and gave us a very good explanation of how the locks and the shipping lanes work.
Dump the sand.
We had planned to get out and tour around Mackinaw City, but the rain was coming down pretty heavily, so we just decided to push northward. We went over the Mackinaw Bridge, paid the toll, no easy pass, and finally made it into the Upper Peninsula. We were pretty hungry at this point, so we stopped in St. Ignace, Michigan, and had lunch at Joses Cantina. You had the pork chimichangas, and I had the carnita wet burrito. Check this out. The chips and salsa were excellent, and so were the burritos and enchiladas. Hello.
Checking in, folks?
Yes,
yeah,
we are.
All right, what's the last name? Valentine.
Good morning. We are currently at Brimley State Park in Brimley, Michigan. It's on Whitefish Bay, which is just about 20 minutes southwest of Soo Locks. It rained for the last 12 or so hours, so the place is very wet. And as you can see, this park is very crowded. Lots of people here for the week, but the spaces are huge. So our space goes from that white line down there all the way to this white line here. Plenty of space to spread out, and for our little rig, it's great. We have a little path here that takes us right down to the bay. And way out there, this bay leads out to Lake Superior. Tomorrow we'll see more of Lake Superior as we head out to the Shipwreck Museum. There were several bathhouses sprinkled throughout the campground, and they were in general very neat, tidy, well maintained. In addition to the campgrounds, there's a day use picnic area and playground for the kids. There's some type of lodge building in the day use area, which I assume they rent out. And of course, every area has a path that leads out to Whitefish Bay. The weather cleared, and we decided to take a little day trip to Sault Ste. Marie to see the Soo Locks.
Now turn left. Now exit. You have reached your destination.
While we fit into this city space widthwise, we found out that we were hanging over the back into the street by about 3 to 4 feet. So instead, we drove down a couple of blocks away from the Soo Locks and found a nice easy parking place on the street. All right, so now we're just parked on some random street near Sault Ste. Locks.
Did you lock the door?
I'm getting ready to. And see, the LTV just fits.
Mm-hmm.
Just works.
It just works.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
No weapons, no.
No weapons. Oh, sure. No problem. Oh, you want me to open
You got your...
I did. Just like a child.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's, yeah. Yeah. No, I got him. What are you been doing all this time? If you look closely, you can see the water being pumped in to raise it up to the level of the western side of the lock. Once the water has reached the level of the western side, the lock is open, and in this case, the tour boat comes into the lock.
Lowered it. Remember it was there.
Oh, okay.
They lowered it so that well, the water was already up at the height. But they lowered it so that the ships can come in, right?
The boat is tied off, and then the water is lowered. And then finally, the eastern gate opens and the ship passes through. This weather here is amazing. It's in the mid 60s. We'd be in 95 degrees if we were in Ocala. So mission accomplished.
Yeah, it feels good now, doesn't it?
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe Biden. We tried to have lunch at the Lockview restaurant, but there was a line, and I hate lines. So we went down the street to a little food truck. I had the nacho dog, and Janetta had the Big Willie's special sausage. We took a little stroll through the touristy area, and there were all types of shops selling t-shirts, hats, everything you expect for a tourist destination. Yep. And that evening, I cooked dinner in the rig. We were having a stir fry, so I cut up some chicken thighs, marinated them in a little soy sauce, sesame oil, and cornstarch. Loaded the Instant Pot with equal parts rice and water and set it to the auto rice function. I chopped up some onion, some broccoli, and I got my sauce ingredients together. Mixed it all up with some water, bouillon, and cornstarch, and gave it a taste. Then I fired up the gas burner, but it petered out after a couple of seconds. I thought something was broken, but then I remembered that I never turned the propane on. So I pulled out our induction hob and cooked the rest of the meal on that. And from later experience, I can tell you that if you're stir frying and want to do it at high heat, the induction hob is the way to go. You just don't get that same amount of heat level from the propane burners in the rig. I started out by letting the broccoli steam for a bit, and then I stir-fried the mushrooms and the onions. Once all the vegetables are cooked, now it's time for the chicken. I add the chicken and let it brown up, get a little color. Then I give it a little stir and let it brown up on the other side. After a few minutes, it's everybody back into the pool, along with my sauce and cornstarch mixture. And then I let that simmer till it gets nice and thick and bubbly.
Spicy chili crisp.
Cheers.
Join us next week as we continue our tour of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.